Today on an all-new Dr. Phil.
Susie has conned a lot of people out of a lot of money.
She's accused
Somebody put a bullet in my horse's head.
of horrible acts.
I've never had any charges.
They've never caught her.
Have you slit a horse's throat?
No, that's crazy.
Why did you have a restraining order against you by a 14-year-old girl?
I was never late on my rent, and you evicted us?
I learned what being homeless feels like because of her.
Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Today's going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. In a small southern town, several women say mysterious things have been occurring over the past 5 years. A horse's throat was sliced. Another horse had a bullet in its head. Tires were slashed, locks tampered with, phones hacked. Now, the victims suspect the same person is behind it all, and they've been trying to catch her in the act. Now, in June, one of the women formed a secret Facebook group called Victims of Susie. There are now 32 members, including her husband, Michael. Now, many believe Susie is behind these crimes because they claim she's a ruthless con artist who lures people in with friendship and then terrorizes them if they dare cross her. Now, Elisa and Michael say they should know, because she did it to them.
I met Susie when I was 15 years old. She was like family from day one. Susie was my idol. Then, in 2012, Susie sent me a message offering her property.
This is my house where Elisa and Michael once resided.
Susie made it sound wonderful. She said, come in, pay the mortgage, treat the house as if it was your own.
When we moved into the house, the place was pretty run down. So, overall, we invested about $30,000 in the property.
We agreed to try to get financing as soon as we could to purchase the home. In the meantime, we would pay on the principal, and we paid Susie a $5,000 security deposit.
I trusted Susie. Of course, I was wrong. July 2014, there was an eviction notice taped to our door. I felt like I had a knife stabbed in my back.
My wife truly believed that Susie was her sister, and getting that eviction notice tore out her heart. Susie kept the $5,000 deposit that we had paid.
Susie stole our money, our dreams, our home, right out from under us.
Out the door, they had to go.
Well, Elisa says after Susie evicted them from their dream house and took their $5,000 deposit, Elisa had the idea to create a secret page for people to warn others about Susie. Take a look.
I started a Facebook group. It's called Victims of Susie. There are about 30 members.
It was a place to where people that were victims of her could come together, share information so they wouldn't be conned by her. We learned through different people that she had 25, 30 aliases.
Susie has 2 restraining orders.
Susie has 2 identity theft cases against her.
Susie has conned a lot of people out of a lot of money. She has stolen credit card numbers. She's used people's social security numbers to get loans.
I feel that I was stolen from, the money that we put into the home and the deposit that we will never see again.
The goal of the group is to prevent people like Susie from stealing and conning innocent people.
Susie is a genuinely evil person.
Now, Elisa says her group is like an AA meeting. It is an online group where everyone can talk freely and safely about Susie.
Over 30 people have been hurt or scammed by Susie.
Susie is a professional con artist.
Susie written me over 10 bad checks.
Susie swindled me.
We have no enemies besides Susie.
She took a TV. She took 2 handmade bullwhips that my dad gave me. She kept the horse. She kept my furniture.
Susie has been in my phones, hacking, cloning.
She's the epitome of a wolf in sheep's clothing.
When I would get to the rodeo and I would see Susie, I would feel terrified.
She said my youngest daughter was a bitch.
She still owes me $2,700.
If I had to describe Susie, it's evil-hearted.
Well, we're going to meet Elisa and her husband Michael along with other members of the group. But first, Susie says she is the real victim here. And when she found out about this secret group, she was shocked. She says she would never hurt a soul and cannot understand why this gang of bullies, some former friends of hers, say they are the victims when she is the one that's under attack.
There is a private Facebook page created by a group of bullies that despise me. They are fueled by nothing more than pure evil.
Some of these people believe that I've wronged them. I don't know everything that they've accused me of, but in my heart, I've done nothing wrong. I am the victim here. They take my personal photos and make horrible memes. I used to have a great job at a petroleum company, but some members of the group sent false information to my boss, which caused me to be terminated. Because I lost my job, I eventually lost my house. I purchased a grooming business, and within weeks, the group was attacking the business. They said I didn't have a license. They also said that this business was being run by a criminal. Both accusations are false. When the group found out that I was facing foreclosure of my home, they found joy in posting my private address. Strange people, cars are driving by my house at all hours of the night, pulling up in my driveway all the way into my carport at 10:30 at night. My home is my prison. I used to live to go to rodeos and barrel races. I haven't been on my horse. It'll be 2 years in November. I went to a barrel race 3 weeks ago, and I wasn't there 3 hours, and one of the minions started trouble, and I just wanted to go back home where I was safe. People in the group follow me, harass me, and they video me. The group slanders me and defames me. I've gone to law enforcement many times, and it seems like at this point, there's nothing that can be done. I'm terrified for my life.
Okay, why you? Why are they picking on you?
I can't answer.
You just have no idea.
For Elisa, I think that just stimulated from hurt, maybe, but these other women, some of them I do know that I just saw in your piece. Other ones I've never had any type of really close relationship with, like I've had with Elisa.
And Elisa, you're talking about hurt because you evicted them.
All I did was put a notice on the door at the end of July.
But it was an eviction notice.
Yes.
An eviction means get out.
Yes. Well, it was an eviction notice, but we had a court hearing to give them a date to move out. And they moved out prior to that.
Okay. There are words they use to describe you. And you take issue with that because you don't believe that you're the things that they say you are. You actually made this picture.
I did.
And you wrote on your body everything that they call you.
Yep.
Con artist, bad, Caitlin, man, alcoholic, devil, thief, whore, drug addict, trash, crazy, stalker. They call you all these names.
Yeah, they say that I look like Caitlyn Jenner. And they post pictures of Caitlyn Jenner, and they put me beside it, and it says, looks kind of familiar, like some barrel racer we know with blonde hair.
Okay, and then they've put together these, what is this, new lingerie, $20.
Plastic beaded necklace, $5.
Bead
Taking
necklace,
nude selfies
$5.
on my Jesus sheets, priceless.
The leopard never changes its spots.
Yeah. So why are they coming in my world if I'm their stalker? How are they getting pictures of me? If I bother them, if I'm this big bad wolf?
Have you slit a horse's throat?
That's crazy. I've never harmed an animal in my life. That's absolutely nuts.
You didn't do this?
No.
So you're puzzled.
I am baffled.
And this has hurt you in your life?
Oh, I mean, it's like they have been cyber stalking me for years.
Well, let's meet these people and see what they have to say. When we come back, we're going to meet the woman who decided it was a good idea to start the secret group, Victims of Susie. Let's find out. She says she doesn't have a clue why they started this. Let's see what the other folks have to say.
One of the girls in the group found a picture of me, wrote a meme on it, and posted it. And the caption says, "I don't always spread my legs this wide, but when I do, it's for something big and black." The photos were presented to my son at school. I was humiliated. My son has been forever affected by this bullying hatred.
And later, you've had a horse shot in the head.
Yes, sir.
And you think Susie's involved in that some way?
I did.
Did you shoot a horse in the head?
I've never shot a gun in my life.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil, a Hollywood actress
My daughter told me her boyfriend hits her.
Hit me hard, he broke my jaw.
claims she's trapped in a real-life soap opera.
Are you being abused by this man?
No.
Then why are you sending your mother pictures of bruises?
And the bruise was from me falling because I was drunk.
You said he broke my jaw.
It's not true.
You're lying.
We know you're a liar, but we just want to know if it's then or now.
That's tomorrow.
Okay, Susie says she wants to know why, for the past 6 years, a posse of people banded together to destroy her reputation on social media when she says she does nothing wrong and just wants to help people. She says she tried to help Elisa and Michael when they rented a home from her, but when they couldn't pay the rent, she was forced to post an eviction notice. Now, Elisa and her husband, Michael, have not seen Susie in 3 years. So let's have them come out now. Michael, Dr. Phil.
Very nice to meet you.
How are you? Elisa, how are you?
Nice to
Y'all
meet
have a seat. You folks have not actually seen each other in about 3 years, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. But you're still active in this website warning people about Susie. And that's been going on for how long? How long has the website been up?
About a year.
Okay, why after not seeing her for 3 years and then 2 years go by, why put it up a year ago instead of 3 years ago or 5 years ago? Why a year ago? Why start it then?
Because people were coming to me telling me they were evicted out of the house and going through the same kind of problems that we went through. And now it's up to 30 people.
And y'all were friends, right?
Well, I mean, a friend wouldn't do what she's done to you, but
You thought you were friends.
we thought we were friends.
Have you guys exchanged emails or phone calls or anything in the last 3 years?
No. She sent an email to my mother.
What did it say?
A lot. I did send it to you guys.
It wasn't
but it was
good.
A lot. Well, it was her blaming me for everything that happened with the probation violation that she went to jail for, and basically everything's,
And what'd you go to jail for?
Well, probation violation, but
What were you on probation for?
I had an incident with a girl in 2011, and it involved she and I, and it just kind of kept going and going and going. It was like a never-ending story.
A 14-year-old girl. You had a protective order against a child, was against you. And you couldn't keep your nose away from them. You're 50-something years old, and a 14-year-old girl had a restraining order against you, and you had 4 violations? If you were a man, how many violations would you have gotten?
Are you through?
No, I'm not finished.
Well, tell me when you're through, because I really don't even know you. I've met you 6 times in my life.
Why did you have a restraining order against you from a 14-year-old girl?
The incident was between me and another lady, and I had stopped at a table to speak to another family that I knew, and when I did, the lady that I had incident over me just being the transport driver of a horse. Actually, I had nothing to do with where the horse wound up. She got angry with me and she threw something at me.
Peanuts.
Yes. Well, I didn't know it was peanuts.
And you slapped her?
Yes, it was a knee-jerk reaction, and this had been going on for about 6 months, and I did. I slapped her across the table.
Okay, then they got a restraining order.
Well, I waited outside, and because I knew the police were going to be coming, and I went and did the court. I admitted for what I did, and I was only a 6 months probation. And that's when she said I deliberately went up a bleachers and sat where her purse and iPad had been.
So
So they considered that a probation violation.
So when they said that there was a criminal that was running the grooming shop, that wasn't a lie.
Well, I don't know if I guess I'm a criminal if I did simple battery. Is that a criminal? Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
You went to jail.
Yes. Yeah, I sure did. And I did my time and I did everything. And this is also 6 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, I did what I was supposed to do 6 years ago.
Here's what the judge said at that hearing for the probation violation on March 25th of 13. Quote, I'm hearing all these reasons why it's everybody else's fault that we're here today. He's talking to you. You know what floors me about this, Susie, is that you're so arrogant about the situation. You're in violation of this because you have chosen to push the envelope because you think that you don't have to comply with the court's order. Grow up. The court is very disappointed in your actions. That's what the judge said.
Uh-huh.
All right, when we come back, I want to talk about this house situation because you say you got cheated. And we're going to talk to a woman who says she's so afraid of standing up to Susie that she might faint when she sees her for the first time in 4 years. We'll meet her next.
One time, our friend was suing Susie. I helped her out by sharing a contact number with her. And the very next day, my granddaughter's horse's throat was slit. Susie is a bully, and I'm very scared of her.
And later, did you hack their phones?
No. I say things in private. It's put on Facebook by Susie.
The elevator is stuck. I mean, I have not seen y'all in 4.
Then why did you text the FBI couldn't help you, Jody?
Y'all need to move on.
A lot of people in the group are deathly afraid of going public about Susie.
We don't know what Susie is capable of doing.
They are concerned that Susie will lash out. She's already got them once. No one trusts her, and a lot of them fear repercussions if they speak out.
Susie is definitely a menace to society.
Susie says she's being bullied by a group of 32 people who created a secret Facebook page called Victims of Susie. Now, Johnny and her granddaughter Brittany say for the past 5 years they have been paralyzed with fear because they believe Susie has hacked into their phones and knows their every move.
Susie is a bully, and I'm very scared of her.
Since the latter part of 2012-13, Susie has been hacking into my phone. Without touching my phone, it turns on.
My granny's phone was laid on the counter, and we saw a picture of Susie zooming in and zooming out and cropping her face and setting her picture on my granny's screensaver. After Susie started harassing my grandmother, she started coming after me at rodeo. She would ride by me and give me an evil look and just say, oh, better watch that ground. I'm a 22-year-old girl, and she's a 53 or however-old woman, and she was taunting me like we're kids on the playground. I was so scared. I quit rodeoing for almost a year.
One time, our friend was suing Susie. I helped her out by sharing a contact number with her. And the very next day, my granddaughter's horse's throat was slit.
We had another situation happen and had a run-in with Susie. We found another one of our horses with a hole in its head. Somebody purposely put a bullet in my horse's head.
In our family, we all use emojis, and my daughter Jody uses the snake emoji when referring to Susie. One day, Jody was texting and again used the snake emoji and was talking about our car going to the shop. The next day, Jody got into the car and there was a huge snake in the car.
We have woke up with sugar in our gas tanks and belt cut in our truck.
We have had our generators vandalized over and over and over, tires cut.
Because of Susie, we have spent over $1,000 on security cameras.
Susie is a very dangerous lady.
Okay, welcome.
Thank you.
I'm glad you're here.
Thank you.
So you've had a horse's throat cut and a horse shot in the head.
Yes, sir.
And you think Susie's involved in that some way?
I do. I had a phone call from a friend the next morning after his throat was cut, and she said, oh my God, how are y'all? And no one knew it. She said a friend said that Susie told her she did it.
Huh.
Yes.
Well, you didn't cut the horse's throat. Did you shoot a horse in the head?
I've never shot a gun in my life. Anybody that knows me knows I'm terrified of guns.
But somebody said that Susie did it.
Yes.
Well, did you get that person and
They
get a
wouldn't get-
statement? Go to the police?
No, I couldn't.
To the police.
I did go to the police and make the report.
So we can't prove it. So we couldn't do anything.
But you did say you had security
friend-
cameras, right?
The friend.
After this, we got security cameras. You're right.
Did you have security cameras when you had a snake in your car?
No, we were going down the road.
You what?
We were going down the road, and my mom felt something, and she got out, and a guy was like, "There's a snake hanging out of your car." And we went to the police. We went to 3 Cadillac dealerships, and they said the size of the snake, there's no way it could have gotten in the car it was placed.
It was 5 feet plus. It was big.
So we took it to,
So I'm a snake handler too?
I guess.
Well, how do you know she had anything to do with putting the snake in you?
We don't know that.
We don't know that.
We
It's just
just-
in our private messages, my mom calls her the snake, and emoji's a snake, and we kept calling her snake, and then we had a snake in our car.
So it's my fault.
Okay, in your hacked phones, tell me about this.
I had a lot of problems with my phone. Took it back. The gentleman waiting on me, he said, has your phone been jailbroke? I didn't know what that meant. He explained it to me, and I said, no, it hasn't. And he said, what about hacked? And I didn't know, I said, I don't know. There's something going on. It opens, it takes pictures, videos. I say things in private. It's put on Facebook by Susie.
Did you hack their phones?
No. I can barely even get into my email. No.
Okay, so you've got security cameras.
We do now.
After the fact.
So have you got her on the security cameras? Because you sent us a lot of footage from the security cameras. And
no, since we got the security
we didn't ever
cameras,
see her on
nothing
any
has
security
happened.
cameras.
No, as soon as we got the cameras, nothing's happened.
Once we put those up.
Once we put them up and everybody knew about the cameras, we've had no problems.
Problem solved.
They had.
Yes.
I've sat here really patiently and I've let y'all say all your little ghost stories.
You sent me a message.
You called me.
That's a lie on the face.
I got the phone bill at the house.
Okay, now this house that y'all bought, you put down a $5,000 deposit.
Yes, sir.
And the rent was $1,200, taxes were $300. Then you say in March of 2013, she asked for a $5,000 deposit for rent to purchase.
Correct.
So you paid that at $500 a month for 10 months, right?
Correct.
Yes.
So you were paying $1,700 a month plus $42 for a security.
Yes.
All right. And then in February of 14, you say she asked for you guys to sign a lease that says $2,200 a month,
Correct.
even though you were really only paying $1,200 a month.
Correct.
And that was for show, just to show income for her divorce.
Correct. While sitting in the room with her, told you we were never going to pay you $2,200 a month. We would move before that would happen. And you know that.
And this is what you signed up here, but you had a verbal agreement that this wasn't really the deal.
Yes. We had been in the house about roughly 14 months. We had gotten engaged and we got married on the property. 2 months later, Susie comes to us and she says, I'm divorcing my husband. He is gonna try to take this house away from me and I have to show it as an investment property. And we had just been married. And so she says, please meet me here. I'm gonna have you sign this just to show that I'm making a profit. I'm never gonna charge you more than this. And we trusted her. We hadn't had any problems in 14 months.
So you did it just as y'all had agreed verbally?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
For months?
For months. We were never late on a single payment, and we usually paid 2 weeks early, excuse me. Sometimes we're making payments on the 19th or the 20th.
And you accepted the $1,200 for months, right?
Yes. Can I clear something up though?
Sure.
Okay. When did y'all get married?
November 11th, 2013.
Do you know when I got divorced?
No.
You just said that you did. You said it right there.
That's when you came to us saying you were filing for a divorce.
No.
It was sometime in February.
No, you said you got married in November 2013, correct?
That's what I
No,
said.
you called around Christmas saying
I divorced in July 2013, so you're false right there. Your
divorce
information
isn't a property
is
settlement.
Doesn't matter.
And another thing, My ex-husband, I bought that property on my own. He had no ties to that
he told
place.
us that afterwards.
Oh, I know.
But
We
that's
know that now.
That doesn't change what you said when you called us.
I had just been married in that place, and you were threatening to take it away. You gave me choice A, don't sign it, and you have to leave. Or choice B is, trust me, I'm never going to charge you this. Please sign this lease.
I know. Are you through now?
No, you can keep asking me if I'm through,
I'm not.
but I'm going to continue because here's the deal. I would have never,
you
ever,
came
ever.
here to want answers, right?
Let's talk about the facts.
This is what we're talking
I was
about.
never late on my rent,
Where did
and yet
you
when you
spend
said for you evicted
$30,000 on
us,
my
you said
house?
that we were late, and we never paid.
Taxes,
No, where did you spend?
deposit,
So
added up.
So you're saying in the March 2013 letter that I sent you,
When you
y'all
asked
wrote
for the
it- y'all-
$5,000 because you weren't getting it quick enough.
As a matter of fact, Elisa, here's how the deal went.
Go ahead.
Let's be honest here and
Go
let's
ahead.
be accurate, because there's one thing about me
Please.
that I will.
Let's hear it.
You called me.
That's a lie on
That's
your
a
face.
lie. I got the
Don't
phone bill
lie.
at the house.
Don't lie.
And said,
Okay, come
would
on.
you be interested in leasing your house to me and Michael?
I
think we have
sent
a
them
Facebook
the
message.
Facebook message where you offered it to me for
Can I finish? I've
$1,700.
sat here really patiently and I've let y'all say all your little ghost stories.
We
So
have
can
it
I
in
finish?
writing. How is that a ghost story?
You sent me a message.
Can I finish?
You asked me how
Yes
much
or
we
no?
wanted to spend.
No, this is a conversation. People get to
Well, I'm
respond. You don't
trying-
get to filibuster the whole
I'm
time.
trying to respond. I was
You really
not
did.
even married. You can't throw a husband in there that doesn't even exist.
The
that has
point,
no
they're not
part of the
making a point
property.
that you were married. They're taking a point that you were saying that's why you were wanting
That's
them to
not
sign this
true.
agreement. Well,
I went
you
to
can
an-
say it isn't, but that's what
Well,
they
there's
say.
a legal document. I went to an attorney. We were at an attorney's
That doesn't
office.
change
a real
what you said.
I didn't say that. They said I said that.
That's right.
The payments,
They said I said
you
that.
accepted
they
the
said I
payments
put a stake
every
in their
month.
card. They said that I've cut their. She thinks I've hacked into her phone. Anybody can say anything.
Right, it's the proof that backs
could
it
have done
up.
that, and why would they want to post your picture on my granny's screensaver?
Well, anybody can say anything, and Susie says she's never had any other criminal records other than violating that TRO on the 14-year-old. Is that true? Anybody can say anything. We'll examine that when we come back.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil, a Hollywood actress
My daughter told me her boyfriend hits her.
Hit me hard, you broke my jaw.
claims she's trapped in a real-life soap opera.
Are you being abused by this man?
No.
Then why are you sending your mother pictures of bruises?
And the bruise was from me falling because I was drunk.
You said he broke my jaw.
It's not true.
You're lying.
We know you're a liar. We just want to know if it's then or now.
That's tomorrow.
I was the victim of stalking by a law enforcement official.
She says it started when Constable Raymond Cook was on official business trying to figure out if she was a wanted fugitive. Her fingerprints proved she was not.
I must have just made him angry because I was not this fugitive. And then, on top of that, I refused his flirtation. I would not wish this life on anyone.
Well, Susie says for more than 15 years, she's been living under the dark cloud of false allegations and gossip. And it sounds like there's a lot of innuendo and things being thrown around. You said that you've never had any other criminal activity other than that one thing. Well, according to public record, police court documents, that's not exactly true, is it?
You asked me if I was ever been charged. I said the only thing I've ever been charged with was slapping the girl. Yeah, I had a constable in 2001, and I fought back, and that everything that he said was false. Then I had another girl in 2005 that did the same thing, that jumped on the constable's bandwagon, and I was awarded $500,000 by the state of Louisiana and the Department of Agriculture because I fought back. It was all false. And then the deal with the 2001, I've already sat there and said I did it. I did it. Okay, I did it. So
It's called a pattern.
no, this isn't a pattern. That man,
It's a pattern.
that man sought me out. You didn't see the Channel 2 News in Houston. You think I sought after that?
I don't believe everything I see on TV, especially the news
Oh,
these
well,
days.
you know what, audience? You
I like
shouldn't
to read.
either. That's for sure. You
I like to
certainly
read.
shouldn't listen to what you're doing today.
What
and
I
then
know
in
is this.
2005, why would I be awarded federal court? Why would I be awarded against the Louisiana Department
I'm
of
not talking
Agriculture?
about Louisiana. I'm talking about Texas.
Do your
Texas, the one that
your
you decided.
research.
I'm not talking about Louisiana. Why are you twisting the story around? Let's talk about Texas.
You just said you did.
I'm just pointing out you said you'd never had any other criminal activity, and that's just not true.
I've never had any charges.
They've never caught her.
It splits the hair.
Excuse me. They've never caught
I was in jail for 30 days in 2001.
Yeah, as you said, once.
In 2002, you had issuance of bad checks, and you...
Where did I have an issue with a bad check in 2002?
In 2002,
where?
Your criminal record says you plead no contest to that.
I've never, 2002?
Yeah, well, that's what it says.
Well, that's news to me.
She has so many, she forgets them.
I
don't forget anything.
It's in the public record.
Well, I'll be glad to look it up when I get back.
You have a case pending now for identity theft from your mother that apparently phone company says
You've
didn't
read
happen.
that too.
Yeah.
I think we presented that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You turned yourself in.
That did not happen.
But your own mother had you arrested, but then the phone company says that was a mix-up, that you should never have been...
They didn't say mix-up.
Yeah, they did.
The letter?
Yeah, they said that you didn't do anything wrong.
I know, because my mother was standing there right beside me. We went in there together.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I didn't do anything wrong. You're right. I didn't.
Well, what the hell are you arguing about then? There are a lot of people that are upset. According to the Facebook group, Elisa and Michael say that there was this default on the verbal house agreement. Regina says there was a default on the verbal business agreement. Jennifer says there was a default on a verbal agreement concerning a horse and some kind of bed set. Chastity says there was a default on a verbal agreement and concerning a car and unpaid wages. DeMarcus said unpaid wages. Brittany says the problem with intimidation, family at the rodeo. Johnny says intimidation of family. A former friend, Cindy, says restraining order, threat to slap 13-year-old, default agreement regarding a horse. Lori, intimidation and harassment. Children says there's not supposed to be any conversation. A mother, identity theft that we said was did not happen.
As it seems.
Family member that sides with the Facebook group. There seems to be a pattern of conflict that you seem to be in conflict with a lot of people.
You want me to address these?
I got some things to say to the other side of this, but I'm just saying, if you get up in the morning, you go to the gas station, and fight breaks out, and you leave there and go to the church, and a fight breaks out, and you leave there and go to the grocery store, and a fight breaks out.
Maybe I shouldn't be going anywhere.
You kind of need to wonder what the common denominator is.
Anybody can say anything, but it doesn't mean it's actually fact.
I'm asking you, do you have any ownership in any of this?
And I think I said yes.
We're going to take a break. Johnny and Brittany say they're afraid of what Susie's going to do when everybody goes home today. We'll talk about that next.
In February of 2017, I decided to sell my dog grooming business, but I wanted $50,000. Susie said she had 25, but in 2 weeks she would have the other 25. We both agreed we'll do the paperwork in 2 weeks when she was to give me the other 25,000. I stupidly trusted her, and it backfired on me. After the first 25,000, she told me that if I stepped foot on the property or contacted her in any way, that she was going to have me arrested for trespassing and harassment. Now I have no money or business.
Well, Susie has landed herself in jail more than once for several days, and people in her life have turned against her. Now, Susie is adamant that she's done nothing wrong here. She says anybody can say anything, and that's true. Anybody can say anything. You wanted to say something.
Yes, sir. To my accusation of my phone being hacked, when you privately say something and it's on Facebook, the bobblehead is an inside joke that I say with my grandkids and my daughter when we're driving. I say, buckle up. They don't. I hit the brakes. Their heads go forward. It's just a stupid joke. How did this woman know that? And the day after we said it in the vehicle, did she put that on Facebook? Another thing, when my phone was with an investigator for about a year or close to it, I begged him to get it to the FBI because I've asked.
And we haven't told anybody.
I've asked so many people for help because I feel like it is, because too many things that we text where we're going, she's there. We text things that's on Facebook, it's there.
But she
I'm sorry.
Well, look, we sent Johnny's phone and her videos to Neil Broom, president and laboratory director for Technical Resource Center in California. He's a licensed private investigator and has more than 25 years of experience in the field of computer forensics. His results show no evidence of anyone hacking or cloning Johnny's phone. There are no indications that this iPhone has been hacked or is being currently monitored for users' activity whatsoever. So this guy is the best of the best.
And I respect that, and I appreciate that. That's the answers that I wanted.
But you
don't
still believe I do it?
Yes, I do. I don't understand how.
It may not be that exact phone.
The
We've
elevator
had so
is
many
stuck
phones.
somewhere. The elevator is stuck. I mean, I have not seen y'all in 4 years.
Then why did you text say the FBI couldn't help you, Jody? Is that what, did you text that?
4 years, I have not laid my eyes on y'all.
that doesn't
I
matter.
left, and I never looked back. I never looked back. I don't care
all
what
I'm
y'all
telling
do,
you
wake up
is
every day.
we took the phone you gave us,
Yes, I did.
and we took it to the best experts out there, and they said it's not been hacked,
Okay.
it's not been cloned, whatever that means.
That's
So that phone is clean, so she hasn't done anything to that phone.
That's about, I've had so many, and that wasn't the original phone that I had.
Well, then why'd you give us that phone?
Because that's the phone we have.
Because that's
Don't give me a phone to check and then say that ain't the phone.
Her phone has been the private investigator in Henderson, Texas. We've never told anybody. They were trying to send it to Washington to the FBI. She sent a text, said what, the FBI couldn't help y'all?
I gave your producer access to all of my stuff. My phone, my passwords, my everything. And I don't think y'all's number, anyone's number, email, anything else, it was in my phone and has been in my phone. So y'all need to move on.
Well, that is true. Now, she could have got another phone or something. I don't know.
Got the same phone.
But does she owe Regina $25,000 for the dog grooming business? You know, that's a question. Do you owe that woman $25,000?
No, you want me to tell you the story? You want me to tell you
no.
You're going to hear it anyway.
Well, no, you don't have to.
Well,
I mean, we can take it and run with it because that's what y'all have done in every bit of these
I
accusations.
just asked you. I gave you an opportunity to confirm or deny.
No, I do not
denied
owe her $25,000.
So here are the texts between an employee and Susie. September 5th, 2017, DeMarcus, my check couldn't be cashed. Susie, cash it tomorrow. I can't do anything at the moment. September 22nd, DeMarcus, check's still not there. The rest of my check was supposed to be on my card yesterday, which was payday. If I don't receive my money in the next hour, come Monday, I will have to go to court. Susie, courthouse is located downtown. You can GPS it if you need directions.
Yeah, that's what I said. There's never been a bounce check on any employee in...
So did you not pay him is the point?
No, I paid him.
Well, I've got some things to say to both sides of this conversation here. And I'm going to say them right after the break. Today's show is almost over, but we are hard at work on tomorrow's show and beyond. And we are always looking for great guests. Do you feel like you have a story I won't believe? Make sure to log on to drphil.com and click Be on the Show. You can also text Phil to 88500, and next thing you know, one of my producers just might be calling you. We'll be right back. Want to know what's coming up on Dr. Phil? Visit our website and subscribe to our email newsletter. You'll get weekly updates, life strategies, and exclusive video that you won't find anywhere else.
Plus, on drphil.com, you can see sneak previews of upcoming shows. Log on today.
Would you guys like some advice?
Yes, sir.
Y'all need to calm down and no, seriously, move on. I mean,
I wish we could.
well, you can play the victim if you want to be, but that makes you a volunteer. You need to choose to own your power and walk in your strength and move on. Yeah, what do you want to say?
She was 17 when she started following her around, and it has scared her to this point, and that's why we wanted to come here and confront her and say, just leave us alone.
Well, you've said it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
You've said it. You don't need to say anything. You have a knack of being very, very disagreeable. And you need to really think about that.
Okay.
You got a lot of people in your life that you have conflict with, and you really need to ask yourself why that is a pattern. And I think 90% of the things that are getting attributed to you are not true. I don't think you've hacked these phones. I don't think you've shot a horse in the head. I'm saying it's time to move on. And really, if you do, I'm just thinking if you had taken all the time that you've invested in this and you had invested that much energy on eliminating hunger and homelessness in your community, what difference that would have made instead of this. And if you've learned a valuable lesson in the process, then that's great.
Gotta have.
I mean, really, you got to find meaning to your suffering and move on.
I've learned what being homeless feels like because of her.
All right, we've got to stop. But seriously, I hope you invest energy in something constructive for yourselves and create something positive. I want to thank all of my guests today. For more information about this show, you can log on to drphil.com. If you have a similar story, keep it to yourself.
Thanks for being here. I hope this turns it around.